Well, I see that no one's showed up yet so far. It's a bit awkward. Yep, still nothing. But I guess I'll take that opportunity to go provide some updates before we have open office hours. And I suppose that's probably for the best, so just take this lens cap off. It is Friday, correct? Well, I guess I'm not all there after all. Oh, there I am. I don't know why it always does that. It's weird. But yeah, to everybody who's watching the VOD, welcome. To everybody who's going to be stepping on in, I welcome you too. Just been minding my own business. At home, getting a little bit done here, a little bit done there. I'm trying to remember, there was an important update that I got. Hey, Blood Red T-shirt, welcome to D-Stream. I was just telling everybody how I was just kind of getting some things done. I had a sort of religious experience over at Hobby Lobby in a sense, because I had never seen a hobby store that big before. Like, it used to be a completely different place. The space was occupied by a different anchor tenant. Yes, thank you, and to you as well. What was I trying to say? So, other day, I go to I forget what it's called. It was a basement, sports basement. That's right. I went to sports basement because I needed to get some new shoes. Got some new shoes. But then I went to the Hobby Lobby, and I had never seen a hobby store this big before. Like, it had as much floor space as a Walmart. And the previous anchor tenants did not have as much a good job as Hobby Lobby does at filling every last square inch of that floor space. And although a lot of it seems kind of like filler, a lot of it also felt like there was some real substantive stuff of value. Obviously, I'm not going to be buying anything from Hobby Lobby. I don't fundamentally believe in the sort of principles that the owner of Hobby Lobby stands for, and I shouldn't give him a damn penny, even for his thoughts, because he projects those out for free. Doing all right, Train Master. Welcome to the stream. Everybody's just kind of checking on in, which is totally cool. In Grand. Might be able to close this tab, now that I think about it. Will I go check the stats here? Yep, the stats are up to date. Ooh, that sounds great. Did they have the, did they have their 10-wheeler set up as a spooky, scary skeleton train? I wasn't keeping track. I imagine that was probably the case at that point. Gotta definitely do that at some point. Oh yeah, so that's good. That's good. Always nice to hear. What else have I been up to? Finally got my copy of Pokemon Legends ZA. It came 3 days late, because in my infinite wisdom, I thought that Target was going to deliver the pre-order the day of release. Instead, they did it 3 days later because they decided to just send it out the day of instead of have it delivered in time. I don't know who thought that. I'm assuming they wanted to stop... just crack my toes. They wanted to stop porch pirates from getting access to the game early on accident. Traumatized from what? I feel like, depending on the direction of that answer, we may or may not be able to discuss that further. Not the changing your name part, the trauma stuff. let's see. It's trying to. Oh yeah, I got distracted the other day looking at stuff related to John Henry. Hello, random stuff official H7K. Welcome to the stream. Why am I frowning? Dang, face tracking is not doing particularly great today. Okay, I guess I'm just gonna have to raise my eyebrows then. No matter. Point is, I got that done. Got some other things done. Got some paperwork taken care of. Oh! Oh, you changed your name again. I don't know why everybody keeps doing that. Is everybody changing their name because I changed my username? Okay. Okay. Because I'm always curious. Like, I don't want people to have to change their usernames just because I did. Like, if everybody was jumping off a bridge, would you? The answer should be no. At least until there's, like, the entire bottom of whatever the bridge was crossing over was completely filled with other people. And all you had to do was just literally just step down into a giant mass of people. But at that point, you may have other problems. As for me, I'm doing all right. Just kind of, just minding my own business. I haven't been paying attention to the news that much, but I was a little surprised to hear that the White House got part of its side torn off for that ballroom. It feels a little excessive. Like, I thought it was supposed to be a separate building. And hey, Jay Christensen, welcome back. Crack my toes again. What does a spork taste like? I don't think it really tastes much of anything if you've ever actually used one to eat food. Unless, of course, you've overheated it in the microwave, and that might be a bit of an issue. Yeah, don't microwave plastics. It'll leach carcinogens into your food. Or your drink, whichever the case. Now I'm even skeptical to even use polystyrene for my cups of hot cocoa or something. Oh! Oh, it's just the second anniversary? I was hoping that the film would actually come out, but I guess not. I guess we're gonna have to wait a little bit longer for that. I will have my own means of being able to watch it. Playing Pokemon Go stuff and that sort of thing. Kind of struggling for a bit because I'm terrible at PvP. But somehow I've been able to, you know... I don't know what a ship tastes like. Didn't bother trying. But yeah, I'm just kind of thinking of what else I wanted to mention. My old man's gonna come back on... What was it? Tomorrow or the day after? He'd been out on business to the Netherlands. For some reason he said he was going to Denmark, but he was wrong. He actually went to the Netherlands instead. So that's going to be nice to have him back. And strangely enough, the way that the time zones would work, if he's actually adjusted to it over the last business week or so. And for one reason or another, the time zone shift from where he is in Europe to landing back here in the States would be such that it would be the same day, but only a few hours ahead, technically. Oh. Hey there, uh, Yield Sea Witch, aka USS Salem. Welcome to the stream. Oh, you made Todd a present for Christmas. Well, commission someone to make him a present. Okay, I'll stay tuned. But yes, are you guys ready? Guys and gals and non-binary pals, are you all ready for Not Freddy? In this case, looking at other people's cursed trains before we head to Train of Thought's Discord! Head on over to Train of Thought's Discord, link in the description. Go check out his YouTube channel and subscribe for more train-related content. Go check out his Twitter at TrainFactsGuy and follow him there as well. Need to get the web browser revved up and going. Oh, and I also heard that VR chat's now available on Android and iOS. That was not the case before. And I was able to interact with some streamers in their chats, which was nice. Always important to do social networking. And making friends with people online and that sort of thing. Even if it's just vaguely parasocial, whatever. Anyway, where is that tab? Where is the tab? Here it is. Here it is. Is it showing up? It is not showing up. I think it's because it needs the picker wheel. There we go. So we got everything here on the wheel? Oh, okay. You have a good one. See you later. Whenever later is. Ooh, interesting. Always nice to see updates. So yeah, this isn't where we left off. Gonna bounce up. Nope. A little further. Yeah, around here, I think, is where we left off. Yeah, thereabouts. Yeah, I think this is the last one we saw. No, we had the Electric Goblin, and we had this, and this. And yeah, we had this, and this, and this, and this in here. A little bit of that. Okay, so maybe I overshot it. Where we left off was probably multi-track drifting then. As far as I can tell. But yeah, let's head on over to other people's stuff first. So, who wants to take first dibs? Let's see. Go to them in a new tab. Here we go. So what do we got? From Bob and JD. Aren't these trains the same as the Amtrak Acela Next Gen? The Eurostar and the TGV? If the images would actually show properly. Because I have a strange feeling that they've been cropped off a bit. Yeah, they've been cropped off when they were uploaded, which is unfortunate. For some reason, YouTube's posts only lets you post images that are like 4x3. Hey Evan, welcome to the stream. But yeah, I think this is basically the same concept of the Avelia type train sets, just as a double-decker. Oh, that one's funny. Guys, this train looks weird. Should I get on? And the other one is Giraffe Plushie as a palate cleanser. I feel like the most painful thing is having the other side of the Oreo like this. Yeah, I could totally relate. And this is from last week. Hey, Dank Alex Gamer 6212, welcome to the stream. We're just looking at cursed trains from other people before we head on to Train on Discord. Let's see. And Amtrak fan, welcome! Welcome, welcome. Glad to see y'all here. Let's see. Broad became the buried messiah. I'm not sure if that's going to be offensive or not. Me grinding Roblox Iron Rail Tower defense, which that's pretty long. Any new shorts? Oh, yeah, I will definitely get to that. I'm just looking at other stuff first. Posts! All the screenshots I have from this week. And that's just a plume of steam. Oh! Oh my. Why is he built like a Giga Chad? With a beard and a top hat. Don't know what that is. More CSX themed avatars. I feel like there must be more. And we got some extra locos over here. I think I overshot it. What else do we have? Because we've got stuff from Benny Boy's Discord. Welcome back, CSX. Welcome to the stream. We just saw your posts. Heading over next to see some stuff from the Benny Boy Discord. We got Gunther von Guldenberg with the most hostile big boy design ever from Simon Fescher. It was originally concept art for Planet of the Apes Last Frontier in Armed Class 4000 with smoke deflectors and dual 50 caliber machine gun mounts on the front. More specifically, anti-aircraft. Oh boy. Ape together strong. They got some paint on the side here. Fear no evil. Wait, why are the chimps imprisoned? That's strange. Which scale is this? Being a film tie-in, I would not be surprised. Most film tie-in games are not fantastic. And most film adaptations of video games aren't that particularly great either. Let's see. Amtrak Fan 19. The Croton on Harmon, New York. Metro North Railroad has officially unveiled the last of its 40th anniversary heritage logos after numerous delays due to mistakenly wrapping one B-32 in the Grand Trunk livery. Oh boy, what's this? Oh, it doesn't have a tender either. I hadn't noticed. I thought it did, though. Like, what is this? This looks like a tender to me. A little taller than the actual prototypical one, but that's neither here nor there. Chesapeake and Ohio, M1 steam turbine livery. Looks like a New York subway rail car. So yeah, wrong liveries. That's weird. Could have been weirder. Could have been weirder. We've got a Canadian Pacific, which I don't know what's cursed about that. I feel like I've seen something like this before in real life. The GAT-X locomotive group again. But I think it's that one locomotive. We got Caltrain, the first livery. But nothing wrong with that. We got the Capital Corporation for GATX, which, yeah, this is goofy Metra. British Columbia Rail on what I'm assuming is a mainland European railway of some sort. Which one I can't say. We got Southern Pacific, GM and O. Is that a that's mainline Europe? I mean mainland Europe. Oh no. Oh no. Why would you do this? Why would you do this? And of course we got this goober in the Amtrak livery. I don't think it was just hijacked. I think it was just blown up. All our food keeps blowing up. We got bricks with, what is that? Incobrasa Industries Limited. I don't know what that is. We got the SLWC. Oh wait, that's the same one as before. We've got ourselves, I want to say, a charter CT rail, which I don't know where that's from. And in the Rocky Mountaineer livery, which, you know, to be honest, it's not particularly bad. It's pretty normal looking. And of course, we got this one. We've got the Acela, but it's in the Genesee and Wyoming livery, which, ooh, brother, ooh. Rail car came first. Motive power would come centuries later. So who else are we looking at? Yeah, I'm trying to find their page. It's not in my web browser history for some reason. Like, it just got Thanos snapped out of existence. Why am I having so much trouble finding it? There it is. Channel. Tab. There we go. Get monorailed. So what am I seeing here? All this... Oh, wait a minute, but... Why did it go to... Gosh dang it, this isn't the one. I was just here. There we go. Any new train-related posts? It does not appear to be the case. Hello again. Aren't we all? That's why we're here! So yeah, no new posts here, technically. Anything in shorts that's train-related? No. Anything in videos that's train-related? Doesn't seem to be. At least on the previews. Why is there no preview on this? Well, that's definitely good, because over here it's at 8:07. I was hoping that I'd be streaming like 3 hours ago, but I was so distracted with the prospect of... What was it called? Trying to find the right song to start this stream with, and it took me way longer than it should have, and then I got distracted with one thing or another, and then I was like, you know what, I'm gonna have some dinner, because it's been a while since I've eaten something. Anybody else? Any other takers? Anything anybody else wants me to look at? Why a 30% chance? That sounds pretty high. Like, no, seriously, I can't make heads or tails. Oh, that's fine, it's fine. We'll still take a look, though. Just to be sure. Any new videos? No new videos. Any new posts? Nope. Not in 2 weeks. Okay, I think that's pretty much all there is to it. So now we can head over to TrainDot's Discord! And pick up exactly where we left off, and it didn't forget this time.
Woo! Yeah, baby! That's what I've been waiting for. That's what it's all about. Woo!
So what are we up to on this bit of the Discord? What's the latest update? J. Hacksworth sightings. Oh, yeah, I imagine. Anyway, the Trix twin, Trung, and the Lone Star Princess, purely because each one is a loose copy of the previous. The TTR Princess was first, an early 3-rail AC00 model, sharing components from a handful of other TTR locos. When Robux entered the train market in the early 50s, theirs took on eerily similar proportions, especially in the tender and chassis. The one that I've sent is of my own, a slightly later Trong version with larger wheels, but the overall length of the proportions of it are too similar to the TTRs to be coincidental from the images I've seen. And then Lone Stars was a triple O model, triple O being a primitive version of N scale. Again, proportions are way too similar, but whether the I'm sorry, I misspoke. Again, the proportions are too similar, if not bang on, to the Trong model. Even back in the 50s, manufacturers were copying each other. They may have had the same tooling, now that I think about it, and that would not be too surprising considering the circumstances. I know a lot of manufacturers in later decades would pass on old tooling from one company to another as there were different mergers and bankruptcies and liquidations of assets. Ooh, yeah, this looks disgusting. Looks like a pusher. I don't think I've ever heard of triple O scale, though, and calling N scale that. Castelia posts laughing my off, which, you know what? It's a repost, but I'll allow it. We've got Franz the Fox Demon, aka Panzer Fox, with the New Zealand Railway class RM Wairarapa type. I'm sorry, did I pronounce that correctly? Wairarapa. Wairarapa. I swear, some words are just... I can't. I just can't. My brain just can't. Why do some have passenger seats with the front and back cars, while some don't? It kind of depends on the make and the model, because if you have an electric multiple unit, you can have passenger seating in the cab cars, but if it's dual powered based on two separate cab cars that are powered and all the cars in between the train set aren't powered, then you have to store all that equipment somewhere, and it would be concentrated in the front and end of a high-speed train set. Anyway, in New Zealand lies the Wairarapa route, which was originally 115 miles long, with the Rumitaka line, incline that had a 3-mile steep ramp with a gradient of 6.7%. Instead of using a rack system, the FEL system was used, which combines the central rail with the horizontal friction wheels. The traffic handled with Class H locomotives. The traffic was handled with Class H locomotives and required a locomotive change at the beginning and end of the ramp in order to speed up traffic. A rail car was developed that was to take over passenger traffic on the ramp at higher speeds in adhesion mode. Oh. For some reason, I thought this was going to be something we saw before, but apparently that's not the case. That's just absolutely goofy. Just an absolute creature. I don't know, a few grand. Here I'm assuming it's being remodeled, or restored, I should say, in the last image. Anyway, in 1955, the Rumitaka Tunnel opened, eliminating the need for a ramp of the same name and shortening the route. From now on, locomotive-hauled trains could take over the traffic on the entire route, and the rail cars were retired. In 1969,
Nice.
all 4 of the 7 examples were bought by the New Zealand Railway and Locomotive Society. RM5 was restored from 1992 to 2017. Ooh, that took a while. Oh my gosh, what the is that? From www.jjart.pl. Like, bro, how do you do this? I can't believe you've done this. I can't even get a sense of the scale of this thing. Like, where do I start? Get the out of here with that. Oh. This is from Revenge. This time with a speeder powered by... It's not truly a motorcycle. It's more like... I don't know. It's too big and rugged to be a Vespa or a scooter of that sort. But it seems too light to be a regular motorcycle. But of all the inspection cars, this is one of them. Yield Sea Witch, aka USS Salem, with Stalin and Comrades. This is one of those instances where we definitely need the Russian anthem playing. Here's the post from the other Discord from Gunter the TOT Breaker. Yeah, like I said, it's too big to be a scooter, but it's too small to be a motorcycle. Oh. Tallulah Falls Railway Museum number 7 with small. And that is definitely small. That is definitely small. My question is, though, what was this from? Like, is this just a plaything that was out on the side? Is it actually something that used to operate? I really can't tell. Captain Hades asks, why does this sound so bad? Ooh. Wait, that's the horn? For some reason I thought that was supposed to be the wheels. That just sounds insufferable. And of course we got the bit that they couldn't be bothered to cut off. And we had a cab view as well, which was nice. But I don't know why it sounded so goofy. Hoya Fanboy 1930s with only in Lionel trains. It's the burning house! I wish I could say that this is actually exceptionally weird, But this is one of those novelty items where you put smoke in the smoke unit and it just simulates fire. For no particular reason, because that just happens in life. May as well try to recreate it in miniature. Though there are some things I think you should never create in miniature. Oh, Jenny B! Bro is huffing copium. I agree. I agree. But I'm assuming this is some sort of an air pump that's forcing air into... I'm assuming the firebox up and around the corner here, and is serving as a blower to force air through the boiler and up the smokestack, which, by the way, funny funnel. Not particularly for this part because we've seen it multiple times before, but this time because there's something on the top. I was really worried for a sec I wouldn't be able to spin the wheel tonight. Round and round the wheel she goes. Where she stops, nobody knows. Gosh dang it. Athearn Genesis, of course. Wrong one. Anyway, let me go hop into the void. Hop into the void right here. Will I go swap some things out? That's not the right one. That's
The Milwaukee Road.
okay. That's more like it. So we will just Alt-Tab. Oh, did it though? I wasn't paying attention. Hold on. Let's backtrack to that atrocious snail that we were trying to avoid at all costs. Oh yeah, it technically does. Guess we're gonna have to spin that wheel again. Thanks for pointing it out, by the way. The human! Gotta go back into the void. But I gotta hop back into the void again. I'm just gonna bounce back to the original camera. Select human. And back to web browser. Okay. So where were we? We were here. Okay, Norwegian State Railways EL1, or is it L1? From Norway, 1922. 24 were produced. Developed as the first electric loco for the NSB, the L1 was intended for the line between Oslo West and Brakoya. Oh wait, Brakaroya. That had been converted to standard gauge and electrified in 1920. It was built completely in Norway with the mechanical part coming from Tooms and the electrical part from Procure. In general arrangement, dimensions, and appearance, it is similar to two German locomotives, the Bavarian EG2, later DR E702, and the Prussian EG511 to EG537, later dubbed the DR E71. This meant that this meant that the body was of a crocodile-like or steeple cab design and was there. And that there were two double axle bogies, which each had one traction motor that worked on a crank axle and coupling rods. In 1922 and 1930, a total of 22 were completed and initially used in the above mentioned line. Over time, though, some locomotives also came over to other lines in 1930. Two more were built, and as these were somewhat heavier, they were designated as EL1Bs, and the original were relabeled EL1As. Crack my toe again. Gosh dang it. They were retired in 1966 and 73. In the process, two were sold to Riokanbanen, of which one is now on static display at the Hamar Museum, and number 2011, which is being preserved at the same museum and is still operational. Oh, these things. I don't know what it is about. Oh. Yep, I'm definitely going to be streaming on that day. I'm not exactly sure if there's anything I could do that would be particularly special on those days, but I certainly hope that I figure something out. Hoya Fanboy 1930s with Lionel Trains, which made these. Oh boy. A Union Pacific cab car, a Norfolk Southern police car, a BNSF squad car, another squad car for the Texas Railroad, and I don't know which one this is for. Crossing Accidents Reduction Enforcement. I don't think I've heard that one before. This one's from me. This has to live rent-free in your head now. It's currently available on eBay if you look it up. It is the Spooky Express, which I think is either... If it's not Tyco or AHM, it is definitely something. And it's just got little 3D printed bits on it that were just glued on as an afterthought. And funny hands in the back. I still feel like there was a bit of a missed opportunity, though. But it's still technically a cursed train in the r/technically the truth sort of way. Yield C, which has this. This is Moby Dick, a fantastical what-if Alco PA-based steam turbine if the company ever made one. It's numbered 50-50 because there were chances... Wait, those were the chances of it actually working. With the Brandywine and Benedictine. That's funny. But yeah, I think this was on a V12 Productions video. They were touring a... What were they touring? They were touring a model railway display for a historical society or what have you. Oh, not even close to an F7. Especially with trucks that have 3 axles like this. But I think it's kind of funny looking with the coal bunker out in the front. Able to be filled up to the collar just like any other steam locomotive. Now we've got whatever this is. From Hoya Fanboy 1930s. Oh, interesting. You'll have to tell me more. So, are they O scale or G scale? Can't tell. Can you guys help me? But one thing I do know is that some have that god-awful steam locomotive sound chip we all remember. I think I know which one he's talking about. But yeah, this doesn't... Oh, and they couldn't even be bothered to actually put the rail cars in the right positions. which is unfortunate. This one, though, that's the exception so far. Okay, maybe it's not the exception, but it's goofy looking. This is all the stuff you'll find on Temu or Amazon. Yeah, I don't know what it is about it, but they always have it super high and the dynamic range is atrocious. And it's ear splitting. Actually, hold on a sec. Let's go to that previous one. I'm sorry, what? I don't even know where to begin with this, especially with that lens flare. It's like a deep fried meme over here, and we've got all the deep fryer oil that we could possibly want over here in the tank car for it. And for some reason, this is supposed to be a tank engine, but it's technically shaped like a tender engine without a tender. And the caboose is in the front because, of course. I swear, nobody bothers. This one I have unfortunately seen way too much of. I can't go anywhere without seeing it. And then we got this goober, which I'm just completely speechless about. But all of these are so weird that I feel like they justify spinning the wheel again for having collectively one funny funnel. One VTuber, one jar! Don't put me in a jar. Well, here I am anyway. Tough toenails. Nope, it was not Hamster, unfortunately. Let's see. Franz the Fox Demon with the New Zealand Railways E66. Produced in 1906. There was only one ever made. What is it? Locomotive practice in New Zealand. Compound locomotive class E, built in New Zealand Railway Workshops low. What does that say? It is a low pressure cylinder, 16 inches by 18 inches bore. Or is it the other way around? High pressure cylinders with 9.5 by 18 inches and a diameter of driving wheels of 36.5 inches with a tractive power of 29,000 pounds and a working weight, or total weight, sorry, of 65 tons. So what is strange about this locomotive? Oh, that's what's weird. It's got pistons in the back and the front, and it's articulated as such. Oh my. Oh my, the more I look at this, the worse it gets. And why is the smoke box door blown out? Or rather caved in, it seems. Like, bro got punched in the face. And he's just casually just here for the photo, while at the same time, I'm assuming they're trying to... I wanted to say they were trying to fill the tank, but I could be very much wrong, as these pipes don't lead anywhere. Compound locomotive. Not your average articulated, and that's what makes it weird. So yeah, for the 1 in 15 or 6.667% grade Rimataka incline on the North Island, the New Zealand Railways needed a powerful locomotive at the beginning of the century that could haul trains without the assistance of another locomotive. Previously, these trains were hauled by two Class W 264Ts, which in turn were needed after the Fellrack locomotives of Class H were not powerful enough anymore for growing train weights. What the NZR built in their Petone shops in 1906 was a Malay tender locomotive, which was 2660T in wheel arrangement. What was special were the 8 cylinders in total. 8 cylinders? There's more? I thought it was just 4. Like, what the actual... That's just more points of failure. But yeah, 8 cylinders in total, with all cylinders mounted on the outside in a Vulcan, or is that Vulcane arrangement? I think it should be Vulcan arrangement. I don't know. The rear cylinders were at the back of the locomotive like a Kitson-Mayer, but it could be classified as a Malay since the rear 3 driving wheels are fixed to the main frame. Built under the chief mechanical engineer A.L. BT, or is it BTI? I don't know. It has been designed by the chief draftsman G.A. Pearson and was dubbed Pearson's Dream. It was numbered 66 and assigned class designation E. After the 2 Class E double Farleys had been officially withdrawn. It was rated at it was rated for 80 tons of the steepest part of the line. It is only 15 tons more than the rating of the Class H rack logos. And in 1908, the NZR bought the Wellington and Manawatu Railway and now had a flatter line to bypass the Ribitaka incline. Now the Class H was powerful enough to handle the reduced traffic on the incline. E66 was then transferred to Wellington and worked as a banker, like a railroad banker. Anyway, its 8 cylinders led to high maintenance costs, and so this unique locomotive was withdrawn in 1917. I am not surprised in the slightest that would cost a lot of money to maintain. Captain Hades with the following. Mike would probably like this one. Which Mike? Mike Wazowski? Mike... like me, Metal Mike? That's quite big. And of course everybody's doing the "let me do it for you. Let me do it for you. 'Cause all I do is for you, Kermie." Which, you know, I already posted something like this, like, I want to say 2 years ago at this point. Holy hell. Filmer Romer Weeb says the following. The Hankyu Railways headquarters. Management. What the hell did the purchasing department buy for us? Reporting guy. Purchasing department. It can be used for our electrification system, and it fits our 1435mm rail gauge, but... Reporting guy. They got it from an entity not from within Japan. Management. Where is it from? Purchasing department.
The Milwaukee Road.
In the United States of America. Management. That's why it doesn't fit our loading gauge. I feel like that could have been phrased better, but there may have been a language barrier in the translation. I still feel like this is smaller than the Little Joes for some reason. Why is it verifying through Cloudflare that I'm not a robot? Okay, so yeah, that is the wheel arrangement. Never mind. I thought it was bigger. I must be mixing it up with the centipede. Yes, we are more than aware of that now, thank you. Anyway, this is currently living in my head rent-free. So now it has to live rent-free in yours too. It's the doohickey. It's a saddle tank switcher in yellow Union Pacific livery instead of the black livery with light lettering and font. And for some reason it's broken. Like, I don't know how you break that off the main mold that's attached to the frame. And how you get it all scuffed and dusty like that, like, for real. Here's the back. Here's the underside. Okay, just wanted to make sure I saw everything. Hoya Fanboy 1930s with London, Brighton, and South Coast Railways L Class 333 Remembrance. The last loco built by the LB and SE before amalgamation with Southern Railways. That is an absolute unit, and that is a lot of people. And here is a paperweight, in a sense, functionally speaking, for your desktop. We got Franz the Fox Demon with the 17th of the Twitter Living History post series. I'm frowning again. Why am I frowning? I'm not supposed to be frowning. This face tracking is atrocious. The train crash near Saltillo, Mexico, kills 208 people and injures more than 700. Oh gosh. The train carrying more than 1,500 religious pilgrims derailed on the bridge over the derailed on a bridge over the Moreno River. An engineer and 4 crewmen who survived are found to have been intoxicated. Oh boy. Oh boy, how do you do that? And these are all steel cars. Why are they bending and twisting and warping like that? They're not supposed to do that. They got some cops over here like, yep, this is wrecked. And this was in 1972. Which I think only if, like, a few generations back that happened. It's just completely nuts. Also, I didn't think trains carried that many people at once, but it must have been pretty dang long. I felt like there was another comment I had to say. Oh, now I remember. Yeah, there is no amount of thoughts and prayers that's going to fix this situation. That's what I meant to say. The bendy coach. Let's see, Yield Sea Witch at it again. In this case, with the Western Maryland 462 Pacific, or is that a 464 Hudson? Whichever the case, this is a locomotive that's been done dirty, and the description says, oh god, she's being Daleked. Exterminate! Exterminate! But yeah, this is a funny funnel if I've ever seen one. Because look at this thing, it's got little struts jutting out of it. I'm pretty sure that's not normal. So it's time to spin the wheel! Gosh dang it. Well, at least I can say that I can switch to a model that's a little more lightweight. Let me just hop back into that void again. Oh, push the wrong button again. Oh, wrong one. There we go. I have officially been rendered by Ubisoft. Curse you, Ubisoft. Oh yeah, fanboy. Oh wait, I should probably note that this is a repost, though. Anyway, Hoya Fanboy 1930s with this thing. This little goober. And now I seem to be lagging. Oh no, Chrome is not responding. Oh no. So yeah, he just went to the seaside. And I agree with that. I do wonder, though, how they got it there. Like, if they had the tracks here this whole time, that Seems like a recipe for disaster. Yeah, I could definitely imagine that being the case. Though I do wonder, did they have to like weld a bunch of pipes to the Actually, no. I'm trying to think how they would have hooked it all up because the steam would go through this tube, right? But normally it would go through the valves. So how do they reroute all that steam? Because normally what vents out the smoke box is exhaust steam to provide a draft for the air and the boiler circulating through the pipes. Anyway, Fred posted this. I just found out about this Irish abomination. It's like a broad gauge, weirdly proportioned jubilee. Oh, that's what makes it cursed. The fact that it's broad gauge. I'll never understand. I would think Ireland would be the last place to have broad gauge. Now that I think about it, I don't think I've seen this in a while, if at all. But what I do know is that it has two funnels, and that's funny, so it's time to spin the wheel. Task failed successfully. I can now undo the curse. And now I can revert to my default model again. Which I was looking very much forward to. There we go. I'm still angry because small. Hoya Vanboy 1930s with S2 turbines from the Lionel Trains 2025 Volume 1 catalog. I'm sorry? Oh, yeah, this could have been worse. This could have been exponentially worse. I think the only issue is, I don't know, the fantasy schemes? At least it's more prototypically accurate in terms of its design, because the originals that you'd find in the post-war were pretty truncated. Oh, and of course they have double funnels, which is funny, so I'll have to spin the wheel again. But to avoid making the same mistake twice, we're just gonna scramble the wheel first. Hamburger! Or should I say...
Hamburger.
It's been a while since I've gotten that. So let's go to 1 hour of silence, occasionally interrupted by hamburger. So which one are we taking this time? Because there's so many different varieties. Because I don't want to go through the same thing twice if I can help it. But I guess not. I'll try this one out first. Or this one. Maybe this one. I don't think I've seen this one before. Low quality hamburger hot dog. No pun intended. Let's go into theater mode. Is it playing? Usually it starts with the audio just to be sure. Oh, it's muted. That's the issue. It's playing, but
Hamburger.
there we go. But it's just a normal hamburger. I want to try out the not that one. Okay, you take care. So we are going to turn the volume up to max on this.
Hamburger.
Okay. I was thinking it would sound a little more scuffed than that, but I think we can do. We will make do. But yeah, this one's way more detailed than the original post-war version of the S2. Oh, and then now we got some
Hamburger.
close-ups, which is nice. I do wonder though why it has this little valve gear thingamajig here, because it's a rotary turbine that powers these wheels, correct? So there's no need to do any sort of timing on pistons because there aren't any pistons. Norfolk and Western, eh? That's kind of interesting. They have a tender that matches quite nicely. And of course, we've got, I want to say, the Spirit of 76. This one's just called the Declaration, and it didn't exist, but it's still interesting to think. Sean M. with the Danish switcher named The Closet, which I think we've seen this before. So it's still cursed, but it is a repost.
Hamburger.
Oh gosh, what did they do to my boy Thomas? Shed 17 right there, according to Hoya Fanboy 1930s, because they taped the eyes over. And it's from Little Tykes, because of course it is. And then we got this 20th century locomotive with a 19th century cowcatcher from the old Sea Witch for the Allegheny Central. And it's kind of weird because you can see the original plow down here and then the fake one mounted on top. And I don't know why they added this logo here for the Allegheny Central. This does look kind of strange though for a funnel. I wouldn't expect it on a locomotive of this profile. Anybody think it's a cursed or funny funnel, I should say? Type 1 for yes, type 2 for no. Josh Red 16 posted this. A very small image of a very dubious contraption with all
Hamburger.
these extra rods that don't seem particularly necessary, which I can't make heads or tails of. Let's see. Foamer Romer Weeb with the Kasei Railway Headquarters Management. So what did you just do? Purchasing Department. Copy the Hankyu. And we got ourselves a little Joe from
The Milwaukee Road. Hamburger.
We've got the Coke Wagon from Friends of Fox Demon. What kind of Coke is up to the individual interpretation and personal preference. From the A80 Goods Locomotive Department, number QSA 0019. This image has been digitized from the Queensland State Archive. For the Queensland Rail Heritage Collection, it is one of the images depicting carriages and wagons that transported people and goods all over the Queensland Rail network.
Hamburger.
Is this supposed to be a whole-blown boxcar? It's kind of hard to tell from the scale of it all. But it doesn't seem like the kind of thing that's, would be storing illicit substances. It definitely wouldn't be storing. Actually, maybe it could store Coke, just so long as it's nice and
Hamburger.
room temperature. Normally, when I think of Coke, I think of superheated coal that's had its impurities stripped from it using that intense heat. Yeah, I know, I know. But yeah, I guess if he dried out the, I mean, if he cooled off the Coke after it was cooked in an oven, he hypothetically could store it in a regular wagon. Oh, it's a train on the road. From Hoya Fanboy 1930s asking, huh? And yes, huh is the word that comes to mind. But I feel like it's a repost. Doesn't matter
Hamburger.
though, because it's novel enough to spin the wheel. Round and round the wheel she goes. Where she stops, nobody knows. Hey, Morty! Morty! I turned myself into a pickle! I thought the jar was supposed to be in front. There we go. That should fix it. Anyway, off to the void! Oh, wrong one. There we go. But I'm a pickle now! Now it's just a question of how I'm gonna get myself out of this situation. But don't you boo me, I'm right. Anyway, what other stuff do we have here? Oh dear. How odd, it says. From Hoya
Hamburger.
Fanboy, 1930s. How odd. How odd indeed. This cartoonishy looking squash and stretch. It's hard to make heads or tails of how it's supposed to work. And then we got G-scale little critter locomotive from Aristocraft. I've wanted to get my hands on one of those at some point. Here we've got the train. Waiting for the train to get to work. And here, what on earth is going on here? Is this locomotive completely immersed in water over here? Like, it's kind of hard to say. But, oh no, that technically qualifies as the train. Well, it's not technically a train running on water, it's running through water. I don't think that counts. And J. Hacksworth Sighting says, friend pointing out, this isn't even a J3A. It looks more like a Blue Goose. You know what? You. Daylight's your New York Central J3A. Yeah, it's a water train, but it's not a train traveling through floodwaters. Well, actually, technically it is. Just it's more submerged than usual.
Hamburger.
I guess it's an excuse to spin the wheel, I guess. Egg! Egg. Mark that as done. Hop back into the void. Once more. Change the camera back to the default. Okay. But it seems like we've hit the end of the line. Technically, because that was the last post on the Discord. Because I'm not seeing it here. I'm sure I'm going to be killed for saying this, but Daylight's livery actually looks kind of nice on the New York Central J3A. -2. -2. Anyway, was there any sneaky posts that I need to get back to as we head back to office hours? For any more questions or comments? Yeah, it's about 9. We got the goober again. We got the bruh. And that's just from Jack at Jail Fries' Discord. Anything new on this Discord? I guess not. Bugger, I was hoping I'd be able to spin the wheel again. But I guess not. Oh well. I guess we'll wrap up. Why does it keep disappearing on me? Okay, that's better. So, hold on a sec. But yeah, I think that's my cue to wrap things up for the night. And to tell you that I'll see you next week. That's the wrong one. That's also the wrong one. There we go. Well, I don't think there's a point in changing back into a human. Though I would very much appreciate doing that because I spun the wheel and I got the punishment. Oh well, I guess I don't know, I can revert back to that, I guess. Because I feel like it. I'll try to keep this nice, short, and sweet. Just want to thank you all for stopping by. Quite a few people came by this evening, even though we had a very slow start. I thank you for that, because videos and streams are only made possible through the contributions and engagement of folks like you. If you haven't already, like, share, subscribe with notifications on. Don't forget to add it to your favorites list. Become a channel member for 99 cents a month. Or go on to become a patron at patreon.com for the same amount or $9 more. You can also donate directly through the Stream Elements link in the description below, which I should probably pin to my chat in the future, because that pays out better than the super chats. Whichever the case, I want to thank you all for watching. I will see you in the next one, and until then, take care, stay awesome, stay true to yourself, and remember to never give up. Bye, everybody.
The Milwaukee Road.
Oh, wrong button.